Imagine being just 14 years old. Not really a child anymore, but not yet a woman either. In your village, life is quiet, ordinary. Then, one morning before the sun rises, everything changes. Soldiers arrive at your door without warning. They don't explain why. They just carry a scroll stamped with red wax. On it is your name. You've been chosen. Your mother collapses in tears. Your father bows his head. And you? You're told to wash, to dress, to leave. No choice, no goodbye. They scrub your skin until it burns, pull your hair into a style you've never worn, and hand you silk slippers you can barely walk in. A red robe, stiff and heavy, is placed on your shoulders. You feel like you're being dressed for a ceremony you never agreed to. The woman escorting you whispers only one thing: don't cry. The palace hates stains. And so, you're taken away to the forbidden city, the emperor's palace. For centuries, thousands of girls like you were brought there. Most were never heard from again, because here in Imperial China, your future isn't decided by who you are or what you dream of. It's decided by one test. A test that doesn't measure kindness or intelligence or courage. It measures only one thing: whether or not your body has ever been touched. Inside the forbidden city, you stop being a daughter. You stop being a person. From this moment on, you are property. Every step you take feels heavy because you know the truth. This test decides everything. If you fail, you're marked as ruined. You could be sent back home in shame, locked away to scrub palace floors, or worse, vanish without anyone asking where you went. But passing the test doesn't mean freedom. Passing doesn't even mean safety. It only means you're now one of many girls waiting in silence, hoping not to be forgotten, and fearing what comes next. That's the cruelty. Failure ends your life in an instant. But passing? It traps you in a system designed to erase you slowly, piece by piece. This isn't really a test of purity. It's a way to control you, to turn living, breathing girls into silent proof of the emperor's power. The journey to the capital takes days. No one speaks to you. You're not allowed to ask questions. At night, you sleep on hard wooden boards, wrapped in silk you didn't earn. You dream of your mother's hands, only to wake to the sound of drums in the distance. And then, one morning, the forbidden city rises before you. It doesn't feel real. Golden roofs shimmer like fire in the sunlight. Red walls rise so high, they seem to touch the sky. But instead of beauty, all you see is a cage. The gates open. Soldiers march. Servants bow. Every corner of this place is watched, measured, controlled. You step across the white jade floor, polished so bright it reflects your shaking hands. Other girls are already there. Dozens of them, dressed like dolls in stiff robes, their faces pale with fear. They don't speak. They don't dare. You try to whisper to the girl beside you, to ask why you're here, but a eunuch raises his hand. Silence. One warning is enough. From that moment, you know your life is no longer your own. You are part of a machine far bigger, far colder than anything you've ever known. The forbidden city doesn't welcome you. It swallows you. You're led into a narrow corridor. The walls are carved with dragons, their eyes glaring down at you. Doors open and close as you pass. From inside, you hear the sounds of water splashing, fabric tearing, and soft crying that is quickly silenced. Then, it's your turn. You're told to undress. Not asked, told. The robe is pulled from your shoulders. Your hair is ripped loose from its knot. You want to scream, but no one here sees you as a person. Old women with hands like sandpaper scrub your body with freezing water until your skin burns. They wash your scalp, your armpits, even between your thighs. When you flinch, you're slapped. Stay still. The emperor doesn't like filth. Your nails are cut down to the skin. Lice are picked from your hair. Crushed pearl powder is smeared across your face to make your skin look pale and smooth, even if it feels like a mask you never wanted. Oils are rubbed into your arms until you shine unnaturally, like a doll being polished for display. Not once does anyone tell you why. Not once does anyone tell you what comes next. Then comes the robe. Pale blue silk, stiff and cold against your skin. Around your waist, a red sash is tied. Tight, too tight. The color red once meant celebration in your village. Here, it means something else. It means untested. As you're led past a row of bronze mirrors, you catch your reflection. You don't recognize the face staring back. She looks older, colder, almost like she's already gone. A bell rings. A door opens. One girl is called inside. The rest of you kneel and wait. You don't speak. You don't even look up. And when the screams start, you're told not to react, not to cry, not to move. This is what they call preparation. But in truth, it's the erasing of who you were. Your name, your voice, your home. All that remains is your body. And the question everyone here cares about, is it untouched? You kneel on the cold stone floor for what feels like hours. Your knees ache. Your body is stiff. One by one, the other girls are called through a tall, black door. Some return, pale and shaking. Some never come back. You try not to count how many are missing, but you notice. Everyone notices. The red sash around your waist marks you clearly, untested. Like cattle waiting for inspection. You want to ask what happens behind the door, but deep down, you already know. Then, the bell rings again. A eunuch calls your name. Your throat tightens. You stand, your legs weak, and follow him down a narrow corridor lit by flickering lanterns. Each step feels heavier, like a funeral march. You pass another eunuch carrying a tray. On it, folded cloths, stained with blood. He doesn't look at you. He doesn't need to. You already understand. The door you stop at is heavy, lacquered black. When it creaks open, the first thing you notice isn't what you see, but what you smell. Old wood, incense, fear. Inside, the room is dim. A low table, candles burning in iron holders. An old woman sits waiting. Her hands are rough, her eyes cold. Beside her stands a eunuch with a scroll and a brush, ready to record every word. Lie down, the woman orders. Her voice is flat, dry, as if she said it 1,000 times. You hesitate. For a moment, you think of saying no. But you were raised to obey. And you already know this isn't really a test. It's a verdict. The mat scratches your back as you lie down. The woman kneels beside you, lifts the hem of your robe, and begins. No apology. No comfort. Just cold hands and whispered notes. No signs of damage. Ridge intact. Minimal resistance. The eunuch writes it all down. You stare at the cracked ceiling, counting the lines to keep from breaking. Then comes the cloth. A ritual, not medicine. She presses it against you and waits. In their eyes, blood means purity. Purity means value. But what if you don't bleed? What if the body doesn't work that way? It doesn't matter. This isn't about truth. It's about control. She inspects the cloth. No stain. For a second, your heart stops. But then she nods. Acceptable. The eunuch steps forward, removes your red sash, and ties a new one around your waist. Gold and white. A mark that says, untouched, you passed. But as you're let out of the room, you realize something stayed behind on that mat. Something you'll never get back. And ahead of you, another girl is already waiting. Eyes wide, hands shaking, you want to warn her, to tell her to run. But you don't, because you couldn't. You passed. You didn't cry. You didn't scream. You didn't bleed. But you passed. The eunuchs don't praise you. No one congratulates you. You're simply labeled acceptable and pushed forward like a finished product. Gold sash tied. Verdict. Sealed. Now you sit in a silent hall with the other girls who also passed. Their faces are blank. You would think surviving such a test would bring relief, but it doesn't. Instead, you feel hollow. Cold. Because you know exactly what could have happened if you hadn't. And you've already seen what happens to those who failed. There's a room you don't talk about. You didn't see it, but you heard the whispers. The girls who didn't return. The ones who weren't pure enough. The ones who bled too much. The ones who fought back. They don't get buried with honor. They don't even get remembered. Some are quietly dismissed, sent back to families who don't want them anymore. Shamed. Dishonored. Lives destroyed before they even began. Others are locked away in the palace kitchens, scrubbing floors until their hands bleed. And some simply vanish. No record. No ceremony. Just gone. You remember one story, passed from girl to girl in whispers. A 16-year-old who dared to speak out. They found pins hidden in her sleeve, sharp enough to be dangerous. She never made it past the chamber. But even worse are the girls who were already broken before they arrived. Sold by greedy relatives. Attacked by soldiers on the road. Victims long before they stepped through these gates. They were the most desperate to pass. They fought the hardest to prove themselves pure. When they failed, they weren't punished for what was done to them. They were punished for being discovered. And so, you sit among the survivors. The approved. Dressed now in new robes. Painted to look not innocent, but desirable. You're told how to walk, how to bow, how to smile only when asked. Every rule drilled into you until you stop feeling like a person and more like a carefully crafted ornament that you've passed the test. But all it means is this: you are no longer free. You are now part of the Emperor's collection. They say it happens without warning. One moment, you're sipping bitter tea in the garden. The next, a eunuch in gold-trimmed robes calls your name. Every girl around you freezes. Some look relieved it wasn't them. Others look jealous. But everyone knows, being chosen isn't a reward. It's a test of another kind. You rise too quickly, your silk robe sticking to your back with sweat. Your lips part, but no words come. You're led away, back into the preparation halls. This time, it isn't about proving purity. You've already passed that. Now, it's about being polished for desire. They scrub your body with oils that smell of jasmine and animal fat. They paint your face until your skin is whiter than paper. Your lips are stained bright red. A dot of vermilion is pressed to your forehead, the seal of imperial desire. Your robe is changed too. Not pale blue anymore, but golden silk embroidered with dragons. Sleeves so long you can barely move without help. The rules are whispered into your ear again and again. Don't speak unless asked. Don't look the emperor in the eye. Don't tremble. Don't cry. If you fail, you'll be sent away in disgrace. If you displease him, he may never call for you again. That night, under a pale moon, you're carried in a palanquin to the emperor's private quarters. The palace of mental cultivation. Few girls ever make it this far. You walk barefoot on jade tiles. Candles flicker in sconces shaped like phoenixes. Red lacquered doors open, and you are left inside alone. He's there, sitting behind a silk curtain, his figure lit by soft candlelight. His posture is straight, his robe dark, his presence heavy. You bow so low your forehead touches the floor. Silence. Then, at last, his voice. Come closer. You rise and walk forward. The hem of your robe drags across the floor like water. You feel as though you are moving toward a god, but he is just a man. A powerful one, yes, but still only flesh. At first, he doesn't ask for your body. He asks for your voice. Simple questions. What province are you from? What flowers grow there? You answer carefully, softly, every word weighed like gold. You wonder, is he testing you? Is he bored? Or is he simply deciding whether you are interesting enough to be remembered? At last, he touches your hand. Just once. His fingers are cold, his skin dry. You don't pull away. You can't. Then, just as quickly, he releases you. You may go. And that's it. No warmth. No praise. Just a dismissal. But when you wake the next morning, everything has changed. Your food is richer. Your robe is softer. Servants bow deeper than before. No one says it aloud, but everyone knows. You were chosen, and you were not dismissed. Now, you're no longer invisible. And in this palace, being noticed is its own kind of danger. 2 years pass. 2 years since you were tested, since a cloth decided if you were worth keeping. You're still alive. Still inside the Forbidden City. But survival here doesn't feel like victory. It feels like vanishing slowly. You don't scream anymore. You don't cry anymore. Not because you're strong, but because silence is the only shield you have left. You've seen what happens to the others. Some fade into the background, forgotten in dark corners of the palace. Some stop speaking altogether, their voices swallowed by fear. Others disappear forever, found floating in lotus ponds or quietly erased in the night. You remember one girl. Li Mei. She used to hum while brushing her hair. She had a birthmark shaped like a raindrop on her wrist. Last winter, the guards found her body in the pond. No scream. No ripple. Just gone. They told you not to mourn her. No ceremony. No name. But you do remember her. Because you know it could just as easily have been you. The truth is, survival here doesn't mean strength. It means learning how to become invisible without disappearing. It means folding yourself smaller and smaller until nothing sharp is left for anyone to break. And yet, even when you obey, even when you endure, the Emperor can call for you again at any time. One night, he does. He smells of wine and incense. His robe hangs loose. He doesn't say much. He doesn't need to. You do what you were trained to do. You don't flinch. You don't resist. You don't exist. And when it's over, he rolls away without another word. You may go. Just like that, your value resets to 0. You walk back through red lacquered halls lit by flickering candles. The silence feels heavier than the night air. You tell yourself this is still survival, that this emptiness is the price. But as you look at your reflection in a polished bronze mirror, you realize something. The girl who entered these gates 2 years ago is gone. She died on that examination mat. Or maybe the night she smiled through pain. Or maybe the night she didn't speak when another girl was dragged away. You don't know which moment killed her. You only know she never made it out. And what's left? A shell. A memory wrapped in silk. A body trained to survive by becoming hollow. That's the hidden truth. The Forbidden City didn't just test you. It consumed you. And survival here doesn't mean living. It means letting yourself be slowly erased. So in the end, what did survival mean? You passed the test. You endured the silence. You lived through nights of fear. But you didn't escape. Because in the Forbidden City, no girl ever truly left. Even if you survived into old age, even if. One day they released you from the palace, the walls never left you. The silence never left you. The ghosts of the other girls never left you. That's the most shocking truth of all. In Imperial China, some concubines were killed for failing the test. But many more were killed slowly, through obedience, through silence, through the slow erasure of who they once were. And history rarely speaks their names. To most people, they were just concubines. But to the girls who lived it, it was a prison where innocence was taken and where survival came. At the cost of the self.so next time someone says she was just a concubine, remember what that really meant. Remember the test, the silence, the fear. Remember that survival was not freedom. It was another kind of death, because the past wasn't polite. It wasn't glamorous. It was bloody, brutal, and very, very real. If this made you feel something, share your thoughts in the comments. Was survival worth it? And if you want to hear more forgotten truths that history tried to hide, make sure to like this video and subscribe. This was Banned History, where the past speaks, even when it's uncomfortable.